Yo, what's happening, Cucumber Squad, and welcome back to the Fable Sphere. Right, now before we get started, link to my website down in the pinned comment. Go join the Sphere, it's free. That's all I'm saying about that. Just go to the link, join the Sphere, it's super cool, you can interact with me there. Right, let's get into it. First Aid Kit, The Lion's Roar. Never heard of this band, never heard of the song. It's the first time we're reacting to it, and this is from Tom Bredesen. I think this is if I'm not mistaken, he actually gave me some details over here. This is a Swedish band. Also another thing that I would like to say, the reason why you need to join the Fable Sphere is because we've got a whole bunch of really cool groups in the Fable Sphere. You can join the Cucumber Squad group, you can join our Words, which is Frank's groups, but then you can also join the Northern Lights group, right, which is also on the Sphere. It's the Nordic, Scandinavian music. Go there if you enjoy this kind of thing. Go and join that group. You can join all the groups actually. Join every single one. Super interesting topics, super interesting people. We just went over 100 people over there, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, we can all just engage there. Anyway, First Aid Kit, The Lion's Roar. It's a skip the line reaction from Tom Bredesen. Thank you so much for supporting the channel for the third week in a row. I really, really appreciate that, man. So yeah, man, let's get straight into it. Never heard this. Let's see what we got. Good start, especially when it comes to the guitar.
Now the pale morning sings of forgotten things. She plays the tune for those who wish to overlook the fact that they've been blindly deceived by those who preach and pray and teach. But she falls short and the night explodes in laughter.
I like the sound.
Don't you come here and say I didn't warn you about the way your world can alter.
Hey.
And oh, how you try to command it all still. Every single time it all shifts one way or the other.
I like that. Don't say that I didn't warn you that how the world is going to alter, and every time that it can shift one way or the other, you try to immediately gain control. And I kind of feel like that's basically how the world is today. Essentially, it's like this is how the world is. The world is forever shifting. It's shifted through centuries. It's gone through many different cycles. It's gone through many different civilizations that have risen and fallen, right? And it's gonna go where it's gonna go. There's not much you can do about that. There's not much, you can't control that. If a civilization wants to go in a certain direction for many different reasons. I think right now we're in an age of decadence. I could think right now that we're in an age of extreme privilege. The world has never been better than it is right now. You can take me back to any year, in history and tell me that that time was better than it is right now for the majority of people. Sure, we've still got issues. Sure, there's still a lot of like inequality and there's a lot of it, but it's the best we've ever had it, right? There's less racism today, there is less oppression today, there is less inequality today, there is less of everything. And at the same time, more of everything when it comes to medicine, technology, and all this kind of thing. We're in the best state we have ever been in. We truly have progressed like ridiculously in just the past 100 years. I mean, the West have had like their century of absolute decadence. That's all that it's been. It's been a privilege. It's been a lot of privileged people. It's like we're in the best time we've ever been in, but we are regressing. We 100% are regressing. We're regressing because of ideologies. We're regressing because of people who take for granted what they have. They take for granted freedom of speech. They take for granted morals. They take for granted values. They take for granted fundamental values that is an integral part to human society and human roles and their purpose in society, and we've taken it for granted. We're taking that all for granted, and that's why you're seeing the polarization that you're seeing today. And we can't control that. And no civilization prior to our civilization right now could control that, and that's why they collapsed. Rome went through it, Greece went through it. All these mighty empires went through all of these eras where they went through a tough time, and then brave men took them out of a tough time, brave men and women took them out of a tough time and brought them to a time of absolute decadence and privilege. And then naturally the people, it was just, there was no adversity, it was too easy, nobody appreciated what they had, and slowly they eroded their society to the point that the whole empire collapsed. And this is where we are today in the Western world, right? That's where we are today. No one appreciates what they actually have. Nobody appreciates until it's gone. We're in a time of decadence where anything goes. Morals mean nothing. Rules mean nothing. Who you are as a human being and how you're born as a human being means nothing. None of the shit means anything to nobody anymore, right? And that's why you see societies just slipping and slipping and slipping. And we're in that era. We're in that era of decadence where responsibility and accountability is out the window. Do what you like, be what you like. It's all down to you and your lived experience. The fact that you actually are an integral part to this society and operating with other human beings means absolutely nothing today. Just fulfill the self. Forget about the greater good and the greater purpose. Fulfill the self. And as long as you fulfill the self, right, you've somehow achieved something. But as we move along, you'll see how that achieves absolutely nothing. But anyway.
Single time it all shifts one way or the other. And I'm a goddamn coward, but then again, so are you. And the lions roar, as me evading and hollering for you, and I never really knew what to do.
Hey, I really like it. Great style.
Now I guess sometimes I wish you were a little more predictable, that I could read you just like a book. For now I can only guess what's coming next by examining your timid smile and the ways of the old wind blowing you back round.
It's got such a Nordic sound and it's got such a Nordic feel to it as well. Like this is like very Viking, you know what I mean? It's just awesome. Like walking through the woods where it's like this grey scale, this grey type scale thing with like the deep reds and the drums and the, you know, sort of like medieval instrumentation with the snow and like that. It really gives you that vibe, you know?
Wind blowing you back round. And I'm a goddamn fool, but then again, so are you. And the lions roar, as me seeking out and searching for you, and I never really knew what to do.
I like that chorus. I was trying to figure out what that chorus actually means. But you know, when they say I'm a goddamn fool, but then so are you, and then I'm a goddamn coward, but then so are you. But when the lions roar, the lions roar. So I kind of feel like, to a certain degree, I'm not entirely sure if what she's trying to say is that people have their limitations, essentially. So at first you are a coward, at first you are a fool, you're taken for a fool, and you're okay to be taken for a fool because you don't really want to get involved, you don't really want to get into confrontation, you don't really want to be part of a bigger thing, you just want to live your life as does everybody else. So to a certain degree, that is exactly it. You know, we're taken for fools and we accept to be taken for fools. We are taken for cowards because we are cowards, because we choose to do nothing about it. But there's a snapping point. People have their limitations, and it comes to a point that when you reach the end of the road for anybody, when you press in too far, when you push their buttons too much, and when you really start digging and poking at things that after years and years or whatever of things that really mean something to them, there's a snapping point where the lions roar, the lions will roar, right? Where it's like, you can take me so far, but eventually you're gonna get the beast out of me. You know what I mean? And I think that's what they're trying to say. I'm not entirely sure. Tom, let me know down below. Tom Bredesen. Let's go.
Sometimes I wish I could find my Rosemary Hill.
Hey.
I'd sit there and look at the deserted lakes, and I'd sing. And every once in a while I'd sing a song for you that would rise above the mountains and the stars and the sea. And if I wanted it to, it would lead you back to me.
Could also just be a relationship song. I mean, it sounds like, you know, I could sit on the hill, find my Rosemary Hill, and sing a song that's just for you that could lead you back to me. I still think there's an element of limitations over here. I still think that chorus is quite something, where it's like, you know, this, you know, people being timid and to themselves and reserved up until a point that they have to. It could also work for a relationship as well, up until a point where they actually have to push back and you pull the beast out of them. Could be, right? So sometimes I make that mistake of making everything political, or it could, because it can, it's almost easily transferable to like political and social issues that we have today, right? I mean, I guess it's completely innocuous to do something like that either way. I don't think it's something that should offend anybody, but maybe it's a relationship thing. Let's see.
It will lead you back to me. And the lions roar, is something that I have heard before. A children's tale, the lonesome wail of a lion's roar.
I don't know, I feel like I could have been absolutely way off with this video. That's how I feel about this, right? With regards to the actual meaning of this thing. I think I might land somewhere in the vicinity of possibly pointing in the right direction of the meaning of the song somewhere, but somehow I feel I'm a little bit way off. I went in the whole political, social vibe where that's what it sounded like at first, and then as I carried on listening, and then it sounded like, okay, this might just be a relationship thing, but it can maybe tie into both aspects. I don't know where my mind went with this one, so you guys need to correct me on this one. Tom, you need to steer me in the right direction if you know what that is. Obviously it's the first time reacting to it, right, as we do for every other song, so I'm not looking up anything. I don't know what any of these things mean straight off the bat. If I have to listen to it again and maybe, you know, then I could try and piece it together a bit more. But this one, maybe not. I don't know. I could be somewhere close. I could be somewhere unbelievably far. You guys let me know. I love you all, man. Please stay safe, peace out. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.